Keeper's Lawn Service, and here are 6 tips for the perfect lawn. We serve Murray and Williamson County and surrounding areas, and we would love to have your business. Tip number 1 is climate. Different types of grass are subjective to their climate. There are 2 types of climate. There's warm climate and there's cool climate. Likewise, there are 2 categories of grass. There is the warm climate grass and there's cool climate grass. Here in the Middle Tennessee area, we have very cool winters and very warm summers. So we are a transitional climate. Which brings us to tip 2, types of grass. There are about 40 varieties of grass, but there are 5 that are suited for this area. The first we'll talk about is ryegrass. Ryegrass is a good blending grass. If you have bald spots in your yard, or you need to fill in an area, or you need new growth to be placed where something has destroyed your grass, ryegrass is a good choice for that. Now, ryegrass is a cool weather grass, but the only problem with fescue grass is that it has a low drought tolerance and may need watering from time to time. The next grass is Kentucky bluegrass. Kentucky bluegrass is very popular around this area, but it is a cold climate grass, but it may require more attention than others on this list. The next grass is Bermuda grass. Bermuda is a very hardy grass and it withstands high traffic. It has a high water drought tolerance. Bermuda grass is a very dominant grass and has a tendency to overtake any other grasses in your lawn. But the plus side of that is it's able to take over weeds as well. It will smother out weeds. It has a very high drought tolerance. It doesn't need a lot of water and is very good for this area. The next grass is Zoysia grass. Zoysia grass came to the United States about 1911, coming from Asia, but it has a lot of the similarities of Bermuda grass. It's very good for this area because it withstands high traffic. It also is a high tolerance for drought and it's very low maintenance. And like Bermuda grass, it has a tendency to take over wherever it's planted. So therefore it's good for destroying weeds and for making a green plush lawn. Now, the most popular grass in this area is the tall fescue. You'll see the tall fescue in a lot of sports fields and a lot of people's yards because it's very high drought tolerance. Fescue grass is resistant to high traffic and it's very low maintenance grass. So for this area, fescue grass is one of the more popular grasses used. If you plan to water your lawn, you need to determine that at the beginning of the cutting season. Once you start watering, you need to continue. The tall fescue, Bermuda, and Zoysia grasses need very little watering because they have a high tolerance for drought. Now, the Kentucky bluegrass and the ryegrass may need more watering because they are cold climate grasses and have a very low drought tolerance. Tip number 3, fertilization. If you choose to fertilize your grass, the best time to fertilize is in the fall. If you want to fertilize and overseed, the fall is the best time of year because it will germinate your grass and the fertilizer will get into your soil. Now, you can fertilize again in the springtime as well, but if you choose to fertilize, choose a fertilizer that will cause your grass to flourish. A good general fertilizer is the 15-15 fertilizer. It kind of covers all the bases and will cause your grass to grow very strong and very healthily. If you choose to take a soil sample, you can take it to your local co-op and they will tell you what fertilizer will be best for your grass. Nitrogen is very important to grass growth. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the 3 main ingredients in fertilizer, and depending on your grass needs, they can be found in different quantities in different fertilizers. Tip number 4, weeds and the controlling of them. To stay ahead of your weed problem, you should apply a weeding feed to your lawn. The best time to put out your weeding feed is in the early spring. The weeding feed contains fertilizer as well as weed killer. This will fertilize your grass, giving it strong roots and at the same time, kill any weeds that might try to come up around your grass. If your weeds persist after applying weeding feed, wait till late May, early June and apply once again, because the more weeds you have, the more infertile your soil. If you have 50% weeds and 50% grass, you may consider reseeding your lawn. If your grass is taller and more dominant than your weeds, then your grass will smother out your weeds. But if your weeds are dominant, it could damage your lawn. Tip 5, proper mowing. When mowing your lawn, you should keep in mind that your grass grows as tall beneath the soil as it does above the soil. So it's important to let your grass grow taller so that your root system can be strong. Cutting your grass every 7 days is better than cutting it every 14. You should cut your grass 2 to 3 inches tall. Cutting it shorter will cause your weeds to outgrow your grass. And tip number 6, if you have a problem with tips 1 through 5, you need to call groundskeepers at area code 931-698-7711. Again, my name is Kelvin Lyles. I'd like to thank my customers and my potential customers. Thank you for your patronage and have a great day.